Islamic fasting in the month of Ramadan is a sacred practice for Muslims around the world. This period, marked by nights of prayer, days of fasting, and acts of charity, is a time of deep spiritual significance. It is a month of tranquility where Muslims from all corners of the globe demonstrate their faith and commitment to their religion. Muslims believe that during Ramadan, the gates of heaven are open and the gates of hell are closed. They regard this as a time to purify their souls, refocus their attention on Allah, and practice self-sacrifice. This holy month offers Muslims an opportunity to cleanse their minds and bodies, seek forgiveness for their past sins, build a closer connection with Allah, and gain a greater understanding of life's true meaning. During Ramadan, from dawn until sunset, Muslims fast as an act of worship, a chance to Allah, and a way to become more compassionate to those in need. Fasting, in essence, is seen as a method to physically and spiritually purify oneself. The fast begins each day at dawn after a pre-dawn meal called Suhoor and ends at sunset with a meal known as Iftar. All adult Muslims, except the elderly, the sick, and those menstruating, pregnant, breastfeeding, or traveling, are obligated to fast. Fasting isn't only about refraining from eating and drinking during the daylight hours, it's also about abstaining from evil actions, thoughts, and words. It's about showing kindness, being patient, and exhibiting good manners. It's about making time for contemplation, prayer, and reading the Quran. In this holy month must be adhered to in order to observe the fast correctly. These involve the do's and don'ts that must be followed religiously. The do's include abstinence, humility, patience, sincerity, and prayer, while the don'ts include lying, cheating, backbiting, fighting, and engaging in any form of ill conduct. These rules are not just about obedience. They serve as reminders of the moral and ethical responsibilities that Muslims should uphold all year round. During this month, Muslims also engage in additional prayers called Tarawih, usually performed in congregation at the mosque. Ramadan is not just a time of fasting and prayer, but it is also a time of festive celebration where families come together for Iftar, the meal that breaks the fast each day. Ramadan is a journey of worship, a journey of returning to Allah, a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. The essence of fasting in Ramadan is more than just abstaining from food and drink. It is about a complete spiritual and moral overhaul. During this holy month, there are certain do's and don'ts that one must adhere to in order to observe the fast correctly. The intention to fast, known as Niyyah, is a fundamental principle that is essential before the start of each day's fast. This sacred resolve, deeply woven into the fabric of the religious practice, is symbolic of personal commitment and spiritual dedication. The act of fasting, as per religious texts, is not just an exercise in self-discipline and fortitude, but also a journey of self-discovery and renewal of faith. The word niyyah itself is an Arabic term, meaning intention or resolve, and it holds significant importance in this context. For practitioners, making the niyyah is not a mere utterance of words, but also a conscious mental and spiritual affirmation. It requires the devotee to not just intend, but also comprehend and internalize the purpose behind the fast. The intention must be clear and explicit. It encompasses not just abstention from food, drink, and other physical indulgences, but also signifies the practitioner's aspiration to purify their heart, mind, and soul. This act before dawn signifies the start of a new day. The break of dawn is considered ideal as it is a time when the world is still and quiet and conducive to introspection and spiritual reflection. The pre dawn hours are thus seen as a time of tranquility and peace, a sacred space where the individual can connect with their spiritual self and affirm their commitment to the fast. It's not simply about refraining from eating or drinking. The fasting period is also about abstaining from indulging in any actions that might be considered sinful or harmful. This includes behaviors like lying, cheating, gossiping, or harming oneself or others. It is a time of heightened moral awareness and spiritual elasticity where the individual is encouraged to nurture positive behaviors, practice patience, exhibit self control, and extend kindness and generosity towards others. Once the fast has started, it is imperative to maintain a high degree of discipline and commitment. From dawn till dusk, the fasting individual is required to abstain from consuming food, drink, and smoking until sunset. This period of abstention is not just a physical challenge, but also a mental and spiritual one. It is a test of one's willpower, patience, and spiritual resilience. It is a reminder that the material world is fleeting and that true sustenance comes from spiritual fulfillment and connection to the divine. The sunset, marking the end of the day's fast, brings with it a sense of achievement and fulfillment, a testament to the individual's dedication, discipline, and devotion. The act of breaking the fast, known as Iftar, is not just a meal, but a celebration of spiritual endurance and personal growth. Thus, once the fast has begun, it is important to abstain from consuming food, drinking, and smoking until sunset. Indeed, it is also important to avoid sinful behavior such as lying, gossiping, and engaging in arguments. This is crucial, not just in the realm of fasting, but in the broader aspect of our lives. How we carry ourselves, the words we speak, and the actions we take all intricately contribute to defining our character and shaping our conscience. Lying, for instance, often stems from fear or desperation, a desire to escape the consequences of truth. It can be a slippery slope, luring us into a labyrinth of deceit and falsehood. Once we start lying, it becomes a habit, a dangerous routine that hampers our moral growth. Gossiping is another harmful indulgence. It's a form of entertainment for some, disseminating rumors, revealing secrets, and criticizing others behind their backs. But in the process, it creates discord, breeds jealousy, and fosters negativity. It's an insidious social malady that we need to eradicate from our lives. Engaging in arguments, too, can be destructive. While healthy debates are fruitful, unnecessary arguments breed misunderstanding and resentment. They serve no productive purpose, but only drain our energy and inject negativity into our surroundings. Now, fasting is not merely about abstaining from food or drink. It goes beyond the realm of physicality and delves into the spiritual domain. It's a holistic practice designed to cultivate discipline, endurance, and humility. It demands that we pull away from the immediate pleasures of the physical world to focus on the inner self, the soul. Fasting is a soulful journey, a time for introspection and self examination. It's an opportunity to cleanse the soul of impurities, to mend our ways, and to rectify our wrongs. It teaches us to control our desires, to tame our ego, and to practice self restraint. It prompts us to reflect on our actions, to assess our conduct, and to make necessary amendments. It urges us to foster virtues like patience, kindness, and generosity, to replace negativity with positivity, hatred with love, and discord with harmony. In essence, fasting is not only about refraining from physical needs, but also about purifying the soul and practicing self restraint. It's a profound spiritual exercise that encourages us to align our actions with our conscience, leading us towards moral and ethical refinement. Ethical, certain actions can invalidate the fast spiritual discipline practiced by billions of Muslims worldwide. This practice is as old as religion itself, one that is deeply rooted in faith and tradition. It's a time of profound reflection, a journey of self discovery, and a test of willpower. But like all things of significance, there are rules to adhere to, boundaries that guide the process, and specific actions that can disrupt this sacred observance. One such action is deliberately consuming food or drink during the daylight hours of Ramadan. The essence of fasting lies within the active choice to abstain from such sustenance. This isn't just about the physical act of eating or drinking, but it also encompasses the psychological strength to resist such temptations. When one willingly breaks this disciplinary wall, it is viewed as a violation of the spiritual covenant. Next, we have the act of deliberately inducing vomiting. This might seem like an odd rule, but its significance is profound. Our body's natural processes, including vomiting, are not under our control. However, if one chooses to induce this process artificially, it can be seen as a disruption of the natural flow of life that fasting aims to preserve and appreciate. Last on the list of fast breaking actions is engaging in sexual relations during the daylight hours of Ramadan. The concept of fasting encompasses not just physical hunger and thirst, but also controlling one's desires and urges. This is believed to foster patience, discipline, and spiritual growth. Therefore, engaging in sexual relations during the fast is viewed as a transgression against the spiritual discipline of Ramadan. Remember, these actions are not seen as ordinary mistakes, but rather as spiritually destructive and contrary to the purpose of the holy month. They shed light on the deeper meaning of fasting during Ramadan, a journey of discipline, self control, and spiritual enlightenment. If any of these actions occur, the fast is considered broken, but all is not lost. In the event of a broken fast, there is a process for making amends. A broken fast must be made up at a later time, allowing the individual to return to their spiritual journey with a renewed sense of commitment and understanding. This serves as a reminder of the sanctity of the process and the importance of adhering to its principles, even in the face of temptation or difficulty. It is important to seek knowledge and understanding of the do's and don'ts of fasting in Ramadan from reliable sources such as the Quran, Hadith, and scholarly interpretations. These ancient texts detail the significance of the month, the intricacies of the rules, and the spiritual insights gained from the discipline of fasting. These sources of knowledge are not just books, they are guides on this spiritual journey called fasting. The Quran, the divine revelation to Prophet Muhammad, is the central religious text of Islam. It serves as a comprehensive guide on all aspects of life, including fasting. The Quran outlines the fundamental rules regarding the commencement and completion of the fast, the exemptions, and the rewards associated with observing the fast properly. It teaches Muslims that fasting is not merely abstention from food and drink, but a means of attaining righteousness and self discipline. The hadith, the recorded sayings and actions of Prophet Muhammad, provide additional insights into fasting. They explain the purpose, intentions, and actions that should characterize the fast. Hadiths provide real life examples of the Prophet's fasting practices, offering a practical perspective on implementing the Quran's teachings. They provide clarification on the finer details of fasting, like the appropriate time to break the fast and the types of food that are recommended for suhoor, a pre dawn meal, and iftar, a meal after sunset. Scholarly interpretations are another valuable resource. Islamic scholars have dedicated their lives to studying and interpreting the Quran and Hadith, providing contextual understanding and practical insights. These interpretations help modernize the ancient teachings, making them applicable in today's world. They address common questions and confusions around fasting, helping Muslims navigate the complexities of the fast. It is also crucial to practice discernment when seeking knowledge. Not all sources provide accurate and authentic information. Always verify the information you come across and cross reference it with other reliable sources. Seeking knowledge from multiple sources can provide a more rounded understanding and help one avoid common misconceptions. By understanding the dos and don'ts of fasting, one not only adheres to the rules but also appreciates the wisdom behind them. This knowledge can make fasting a more meaningful and enriching experience. By following the guidelines set forth in Islamic teachings, one can ensure that their fast is valid and spiritually beneficial. May this Ramadan be a time of spiritual growth and blessings for all those observing the fast. Peace and blessings be upon you. Voiceover. As the sun sets and the day dawns, two meals hold a special place in the hearts of those observing Ramadan: Suhoor and Iftar. These are not just meals but significant elements of the fasting practice, each with their own unique symbolism and importance. Suhoor, the pre-dawn meal, is a source of sustenance for the body throughout the day. Consumed before the Fajr prayer, it signifies the beginning of the fast. It is a time of peace and tranquility, a moment to reflect and prepare for the day ahead. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Take suhoor, as there is a blessing in it. Iftar, on the other hand, is the meal that breaks the fast at sunset." This meal is often shared with family and friends, symbolizing unity and gratitude. It is a celebration of the day's successful fast, and it is said that the joy of breaking the fast is one of the pleasures that the fasting person has. Recommended foods for suhoor include complex carbohydrates for sustained energy, protein-rich foods for muscle strength, and fruits for hydration. For iftar, dates are traditionally eaten first, as was the practice of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, followed by a well-balanced meal to replenish the body's energy. Understanding the significance of these meals goes beyond the physical nourishment they provide. They are a testament to the discipline, patience, and gratitude that Ramadan instills in us. As we partake in suhoor and iftar, we are reminded of the blessings we have, the unity of the community, and the spiritual journey we undertake during this holy month. Voiceover. As the moon waxes and wanes, marking the progression of Ramadan, there comes a night of unparalleled significance, the night of power, or Laylat al-Qadr. This is not just another night, but the most sacred night of Ramadan, a night better than 1,000 months. It is believed to be the night when the Quran was first revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. As Allah says in the Quran, The night of decree is better than 1,000 months. The angels and the Spirit descend therein by permission of their Lord for every matter. Peace it is until the emergence of dawn. On this blessed night, Muslims engage in prayer, recitation of the Quran, and remembrance of Allah. It is recommended to spend this night in worship and seek Allah's forgiveness. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, said, "Whoever stands in the voluntary night prayer of Ramadan out of faith and in hope of reward, his previous sins will be forgiven. And whoever spends the night of Laylat al-Qadr in prayer out of faith and in hope of reward will have his previous sins forgiven." The spiritual benefits of observing Laylat al-Qadr are immense. It is a night of reflection, forgiveness, and immense blessings. Muslims believe that on this night their destiny for the next year is written. Therefore, they fervently pray for a good fate and seek forgiveness for their past sins. Observing Laylat al-Qadr is a great opportunity for spiritual growth and seeking forgiveness. It is a night of profound tranquility and peace, a night when the divine descends near to the believers. As we look forward to this night, let's prepare our hearts and minds and strive to make the most of this unique opportunity for spiritual elevation. As dawn emerges, we are left with a sense of peace and fulfillment, having spent a night in the company of the divine and in the hope of a blessed year ahead.